So I saw this the other day and it was fantastic. It explains how we should be spending our time and our energy. And in this business, you will find that the one thing that you only have so much of is time and energy, right? And if you are not being careful, it's amazing how quickly we will fill our schedule with things that are draining our energy, that are definitely not things that we should be doing. And so I love this to help me understand about the things that are important in my life and how I should be spending my time. So on this side, we have things that are either give us energy or don't give us energy. And then up here, we have things that don't make us money and then things that do make us money. So obviously, the things that make us money and give us energy, those are going to be the things that we should be prioritizing. The things that I like to do that are actually profiting me. For me, I love to manage. I love teaching people. I love building systems. I like figure out ways to make things work that in the past they didn't work, and to create solutions to problems that we have at work. And so that's where I'm going to make it a priority that these are the things that I put on my schedule. So things that I am good at, that I like to do, that make me money, those are the things that I'm going to put on my schedule as a priority. Those are the things I'm going to take care of first. So I'm making sure that I am actually making progress. So many times as business owners, we're busy, but we're not actually producing anything of value that actually brings us to where we want to be. You can be on the phone for 300 hours a day. You could be working on a project that isn't really actually making you any money, and it appears that you are very busy, but you're not really actually gaining the traction that you want to gain. And so when it comes to the things that I do now, I am very careful that I am prioritizing the things that make me money and that also give me energy. So I like to do them. In addition to that, there are things that I do that do not make me money, but they give me energy. Things like going to the gym or having my quiet time or reading. Or hiking. Hiking is one of my favorite things. So whenever life gets chaotic and we're super busy and we've got a lot going on, especially at work. For me, we have seasons in our business in the restaurant. I have the summertime when it's wedding season. I have in the fall when we have the state fair that we're working. And then I have Christmas time. Those are our big, big, big seasons. And that's the time when it's all hands on deck and we're all working very long hours. And what ends up happening is that I do enjoy what I do. I enjoy the creation of things, and I tend to do a lot of this, the prioritizing, and I do less of this. And what I need to do, and this is the first year that I did it, is during this time of the year, I protected the things that gave me energy but didn't make me money. So it's really important that we don't sacrifice. In the past, I always sacrificed going to the gym if I was too busy because, I'm going to go to work at 6 a.m. because I need to get a head start on today's work and I'm just concerned, and so I'm just going to skip the gym. But what happens when I skip the gym is that my mental, my physical, my spiritual being starts to lose energy. Remember, it gives me energy. So it needs to be protected. So I prioritize the things that make me money and give me energy, and then I protect the things that do give me energy but don't make me money. Does that make sense so far? So the things that you enjoy, what are some of the things that you like to do that actually give you energy? This could be playing a video game, or it could be playing a board game with your kids. It could be eating with a friend, having a glass of wine. It could be any of these things. As long as it is something that gives you energy, you need to protect that thing and not sacrifice it because you're in a busy season of your life, or not sacrifice it because suddenly things are stressful, right? So now we come down to the bottom quadrants, and these are things that do not give us energy. And on this side, and this side does make us money. So oftentimes what happens, especially for me, is when I am making money, but it doesn't give me any energy, I convince myself I still have to do it, right? For me, it was working on the line at work. I was the fastest cook, and so I always felt like I had to be the only cook, or I could hire other cooks, but I always had to be in there helping them, doing the thing with them. And the truth of the matter is that I didn't really get anything from it. It didn't give me joy. I didn't need to be doing it. So these tasks that I can make money, but they don't give me energy. Let's see here. I'll draw a little light bulb. It made me money, but it didn't give me energy. Those are the things that I needed to partner. And what do I mean by partner? I really like the word partner because what it's saying that I'm going to put this on somebody else. I'm going to allow someone else to pick this task and take it with them, and they're going to honor this task. They're going to be the one that's taking care of it. They're the one that is going to make sure that it gets to its completion. When we started out, all of my businesses actually, I did all the bookkeeping. I was always the person who was entering the things into QuickBooks. I was making sure that receipts were scanned and all of the things were done. But I can tell you what, being on the computer for me, that felt like my soul was slowly being sucked out of my body. It felt like this is not meant for me. This drained my energy and I would avoid it. And I don't know if you're like me at all, but I would avoid it so bad that January the next year would be when I would be starting to enter in receipts from the previous year. And I would scramble and be reconciling accounts, entering receipts, scanning receipts, and trying to remember what was that? Why did I pay for that? Who is that person? What is that for? And it was very frustrating. So I would spend weeks digging through all of our finances, trying to figure out all what I did. And it just was not at all something that benefited me personally. It benefited the business, absolutely. It's a good thing to have your books done, right? And it's important to have computer work done and things like that. And yes, that all is generating us money. That's making sure that our business is operating the way that it's supposed to operate. However, it was draining me. So I needed to find someone else. And if you've ever heard this phrase, it's my favorite. As soon as you can afford it, hire your weakness. For me, it was trusting my staff to cook the recipes that I designed. It was hiring bookkeepers to help me get the things done that needed to be done. I, at one point, had to divide a lot of the things that I was doing into categories and decide, just because I can do it, does it mean that I'm doing it well? And then allow to hire somebody to do it. So at one point I used to do all the ordering for our restaurant and our catering. I was the person that made sure that we had all the ingredients that we needed. And then I realized that I'm not doing this well. I need to hire a specific person that handles it, because this person needs to be in charge of making sure that we're getting the best quality, but also the best price, and that we are making sure that our food costs are where they're supposed to be. And I couldn't do that while I was doing all of the other things at the same time. So I took the things that didn't give me energy, but they still made me money, and I partnered with somebody else to do it. And here's the most important part. And I love how Dan Martell says this, but it's so very true. 80% of somebody else doing it is 100% awesome. And what that means is that no one is going to do it like you do. No one is going to be perfect. No one is going to operate, think, and execute exactly the same way that you do. And that is okay. It's okay for people to behave differently. It's okay for people to have a different vision, as long as you get the same result, right? You want them to get to the space of where you want them to be. They don't have to get there the same exact way that you do. You have parameters that you're going to set for them, right? I have a goal of that my staff cannot go over 30% for food costs. And if they do that, there's a bonus. If they go over 30%, obviously that's not a bonus. And we keep track weekly. So I'm not waiting for 6 months and then looking back and going, oh my gosh, we lost all this money. Every week we're looking at these numbers so that we're staying on track. And so that is how I enable my staff to be empowered. I don't tell them I want you to get there this way. I say, this is the goal. This is what our desired outcome is. And can you help me get there? And this is the authority that you have in that space. And it's fantastic to see how inventory sheets that I created, they have updated and they work better. How they have found different partners, how they have established relationships and things like that with vendors that I never had the time to be able to manage. And so partnering has been a huge benefit. Also, getting someone else to do my booking, oh my goodness, what a blessing that has been, because I hate it. I absolutely hated it. It was torture for me for weeks on the year. Why was I hanging on to something that I hated when accountants love numbers? They love this. If there's a penny off, it's an Easter egg hunt for them. So why would I take that joy away from them? And the final category is the category that doesn't give us energy and does not make us money. Draw my little diagram again. And it doesn't do either for us. Does not make us money, and it doesn't give us energy. So if it doesn't make us money and it doesn't give us energy, we need to purge it. So many times I see people with these great ideas. I have this great idea and I really think that it's going to be great, and I think we should do this, and we need to go this direction because I think it's a really great idea. But the truth of the matter, it's not something that's giving them energy. It's not something that's making them money. It's on their plate and it shouldn't be. It's something that they are paying attention to that's sucking up their energy. It's costing them to even continue to go in that direction, and yet they don't want to let it go. Why not? Do you think that somehow you're going to miss out on something? The truth of the matter is that you only get so much, right? You can't get time back. You only get so much energy. So at the end of the day, what are you going to spend your time on? And how are you going to maximize your time so that you are actually moving forward? And I like to say this because I am married to someone who has a serious FOMO, and he also loves to vision all the possible things that he could do with his life. And then after he visions, he starts to think of how he can put some of that on my plate so that I'll take care of some of his vision. But he has a hard time letting go of good ideas. No, I just really think it could be something. But it's not giving him any energy, and it's not going to make him any money. Not yet. Could be a really long time before it does. But it's taking up what I call bandwidth. Your attention, your ability for your brain to pay attention and to execute and move forward has only so much time, and it's taking up part of your energy and your time. So why do you want to have it on your plate? So what I say to him is this. I go, well, let's pin that. That's my favorite thing. It's my way of saying we're not doing that without saying that's stupid, we're not doing that. Instead, I say let's pin it because I know that it's something that we could do, but let's pause on it and maybe down the line we'll pick it up again. And that's what purge means. It doesn't mean that you'll never go back. It just means right now we're not going to. And then let's just focus on what's important. Let's focus on the things that I like to do and the things that make me money. Let's just focus on right now, the important things, and just for this time period, not forever. If you've ever watched the Bee Movie, the whole movie is about how he's agonizing because he has to make a decision for a job, and the job is going to be what he's going to do for the rest of his life. Well, trust me, no matter where you are in your life, what you're doing right now, it's not going to be the thing that you're going to do for the rest of your life. Your life is going to change. You're going to have lots of variety. I went to college to be a school teacher and then realized that I didn't really like that, and started doing student teaching, and that wasn't for me. And then I switched to being a journalist, and today I don't do any of that. So you're definitely going to have a change in course many times in your lifetime, and that's okay, because we take the things that we learn that give us energy and that make us money, and we adapt and pivot and do what is necessary. So when you are thinking about your time, I want to just help prevent you from the heartache and the pain and the struggles that we all go through, and show you, because I just love this, I absolutely loved it when I saw it, that you prioritize the things that make you money and that you like to do. Things that give you energy and make you money. You will gain so much traction and so much movement by sticking with that category and putting that as the priority of your day. And then protecting the things that give you energy that don't necessarily make you money. That's the first thing I would always sacrifice: time with friends, going to the gym, extra sleep, things like that. That's the first thing that I would give up when life would get busy, and I would, every single time, I would regret it. So protect, prioritize, and then partner with people so that you can take things off your plate that you really don't like to do anyway, and then purge. And I just knew someone today needed to hear about this. Someone today needed to see this chart so they could reorganize their life and make things better in their home, in their relationships, and in their business. If this resonated with you, if you like this, if this chart is something that you want to personally sit down and do something with, just comment the word protect, and I have a PDF for you to fill out for your own life so that you can decide what it is that you need to purge, partner, prioritize, and protect.